2. Big rig, Buccaneer training camp, and a big year this year because this is 50 years of Buccaneer football in Tampa Bay, and a voice that has been here. He got here to start doing Buccaneer football the year before I came here. So we're both legends in this field now. Gene Deckerhoff is here. How are you, Gene?
Big rig. I didn't. 1990, I guess you
Yes,
get it.
yes.
89 was my first year, and Jesse the Body Ventura, Al Keck, and I, we sat at the old Sombrero, and air conditioning wasn't very good in the press box, and you could see the field better because it was on the second floor. And that was the beginning of my broadcasting career with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And now, 37 years later, here we go, and we're at the Raymond James Stadium, the best stadium in the NFL for fans and for broadcasters and for media, the best in the league, in my opinion. And we begin year number 50. That's amazing.
And it's funny you bring up Al Keck because Al Keck was our sports guy back then with the morning show and everything, and we all had that tight little circle going on. What's the one thing when you remember showing up, right, and you stepped into that press box for the first time at the old Sombrero, what was the first thought that hit your mind? Because it was pretty rudimentary back then. You have a card table and a microphone. How bad was it?
No. And I'll tell you, I had spent 3 years doing USFL football in the same stadium, but we were up on the very top, the roof. That's where our broadcast location was. There. My first thought when I walked into the Buccaneer Radio Network booth, my golly, I can see the numbers from here, and I was younger then. That was my very first thought. I said, I'm glad we're not on the roof anymore.
That's crazy because when we went there, we had a Pink Floyd show there. We had to watch it from the roof of the press box, and that was not long before the old Sombrero would go away. It was one of the last shows in that building.
Yeah, Pink Floyd didn't wear numbers, though. You didn't have to worry about that.
No. They had a giant pink floating over the field, and it was awesome. You couldn't miss that, that's for sure. So as we get this 50th anniversary year, you've experienced some ups and downs, some highs and lows. Is there a moment when you think about your time with the Buccaneers that really stands out to you as the moment that you ever had to get?
Well, obviously, Super Bowl 37, the game in San Diego, completely wiped out the Oakland Raiders, and I'll never forget that. And golly, we had four players off that team in the Hall of Fame now. Let's see, Warren Sapp, Derek Brooks, Rondé Barber, John Lynch, and then Tony Dungy, the Hall of Fame. So, and they're probably, I think we have some more Hall of Fame players on this present 50th anniversary team, including number 13, Mike Evans, and I don't sell Baker Mayfield short. And I can't wait to see number 7 and see how he does in 5, 6, 7 years. He started out the way you got to start if you want to wear a gold jacket later on in life. But no, Bucky. But no, this is an exciting time to be a Buccaneer fan. Big rig, 4 consecutive NFC South titles. I mean, I remember we struggled and finally won an NFC Central title. I mean, we didn't think we were ever going to. We couldn't beat Chicago. Minnesota was tough up there, particularly when they had Randy Moss and old Teddy Bridgewater was the quarterback. He's now a Buccaneer. I'm back talking old school. But we could not beat Chicago. Green Bay was always a thorn in our side. And the NFC Central, the black and blue division, then in 2002, the realignment of the league, we become NFC South. We play Atlanta, Carolina, New Orleans, and that's not easy. People say, well, it's an easy division. Baloney. I can use that word on the radio. Baloney. Okay.
One of the last ones, yes.
Yeah, one of the few. But every division is tough. Anyway, to win a division is even tougher. But we've done it 4 in a row. That's a franchise record, 5 consecutive playoffs. So it's great being a Buccaneer fan now. But you know something? Tampa Bay Buccaneer fans back in 1976 that saw a winless season, then saw us go to the last 2 games of 1977 before we won 1 game, and then the second beat New Orleans and St. Louis. Those fans are still with us. They still probably have the same seats, and they're still just as hot in September as they were then.
They are, and you see those fans, and you see that smile, and you're like, look, if you were there in the beginning, you remember if we lived through that, it'll never be worse than that. But that's it. Good things come to those who wait. We had to wait a minute, but we finally got it done. And you're right. This season, this has that kind of buzz. When the Bucs started to turn the corner the last time, with so much talent. We got a couple of veterans, you got some young ones. You're right. Bucky he's got fire. I cannot wait to see what he's going to unleash back here.
Yeah, the joint practice between Tampa Bay and the Tennessee Titans, when Bucky would make a big play, you'd hear the crowd start going, Bucky. You could hear it from here. I mean, yes, Bucky. Yes. The fans are way across the way. They're in the shade. I think they have fans where they are, but they got the Bucky cheer going, and boy, doesn't that sound good. That sounds almost as good as the cannon fire, you know?
It does, and that's the thing. It's just so much fun to be here with this buzz and all the fans here. both teams. And look, things get a little hot under the collar. These guys are finally facing a different opponent they haven't seen in the last 3 weeks on another team, and then they get to tee it up at Raymond James Stadium on Saturday.
Joint practices are going on all around the league. That seems to be the thing now. Remember, we used to have 4 preseason games. It's been reduced to 3. You don't see the starters very often. I mean, the returning starters from the year before. And this is good experience for the players. The coaches love the competition against somebody else. And oh, by the way, when you have a new offensive coordinator like Josh Broussard, he gets to call plays against an opposing defense, and not against a defense who, by the way, is the head coach that knows every offensive play he's going to run.
And that's the thing, and that's the other thing too, as we talk about the pros and cons of doing this. It is. It's your chance when you step into that role first to really try some experimentation and get really freaked. Because they see some plays get blown up and players aren't playing right coverage, and they're all. This is where you fine-tune those things.
Yeah, joint practice, and they're going on around the league. And what Todd Bowles wanted to see was competitiveness. He wanted to see a little fire in the eyes, but he did not want to see any fights, and I haven't seen one today.
No.
I've been looking for one, but that goes on, and it's so hot. I mean, you just walk down the street, you want to kick a stone, I mean, so let alone putting on 40 pounds worth of pads and a helmet. I mean, there's no air conditioner to help you.
Those guardian caps don't let any air out of that helmet. You're just like a marshmallow just roasting on the field right now. It's insane.
I can honestly tell you, I was a basketball guy and a baseball guy. I don't think I wore helmets. I was a batting helmet. So I have never in my lifetime worn a football helmet. But I'll promise you they're hot.
I can't find one big enough to fit my head. That's
why you're big rig, baby.
That's exactly it. It's all the head. It's just meat up here. Gene Deckerhoff, the legendary Buccaneer voice, back with us for a 50th anniversary celebration here. Cannot wait to see you on Saturday night.
Well, the Bay Area blowtorch 98 Rock has got to hear touchdown Tampa Bay more times this year than last.
Love it. That is awesome. Oh, fantastic.